You're in tune to Chicago's most popular college music radio station. 89.3 is WKKC. This is Focus Talk, the thought-provoking, solution-oriented talk show daring to make a difference in our communities. We're talking on a regular basis because the answers really matter. What are we talking about? Well, we're talking about politics, religion, personal development, education, history, music, and then from time to time, we are spotlighting positive people who are doing positive things right here in the Inglewood community, throughout the Chicagoland area, as well as the entire United States. I'm your host, Dennis Snipe. Joining me in the studio today is Miss Cassiopeia Uhuru. Is that correct?
Yeah.
All right, I got it. How are you today?
I'm doing awesome. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so very much for being here. Now, you are an incredibly busy young lady. You're making a lot of things happen in the community. First of all, let's talk about the Black Mall.
Okay, absolutely.
What is the Black Mall?
Okay, well, the Black Mall is an online directory of Black-owned businesses nationwide. We also have, and so you got to think for that side of the Black Mall, we're like yellow pages for Black-owned businesses. So if you're looking for a doctor or a retail store or maybe even an educational institution, you can find them, and you wanted to make sure that it's a Black-owned business, you can go to theblackmall.com and be able to find it in lots of cities across the nation. We're also an e-commerce site. So think Amazon, but Black-owned products. So we have those products not only that we can ship nationwide, but we also have like a small storefront where we house them. So if you're in the Chicagoland area, you can come pick them up. Like great products that we actually have to have, like tissue and toothbrushes and paper towels and laundry detergent.
So now these products are manufactured here in Chicago?
Not
or
necessarily.
Illinois? Okay.
So we have some of them like manufactured in Baltimore and Atlanta. There are different places, throughout the U.S., but we distribute the products here out of the Black Mall through our website and in our store.
Okay. So now, outside of the norm or what you would actually expect as far as a Black product is concerned, what's the benefit?
What's the benefit is the economic development, right? Okay. So we talk about crime in our communities. We talk about unemployment in our communities. We talk about the inability of having healthcare institutions that service us. Having an ER on the south side of Chicago has been one of the biggest talks that have been happening because people get like seriously hurt if there's any type of shootings. A lot of times they're dying simply because they just can't get to an actual facility in time to save them. So when we have our dollars recycled inside of our communities, then we build our businesses so they become larger. When they become larger, they're able to hire more people. 80% of Black-owned businesses hire Black people, no matter what their backgrounds are. So then when we start talking about the aspect of crime, right, a lot of the times they're doing other things that are, slated as illegal because there are no other alternatives for them to be able to get into because of probably the educational system, because of healthcare systems and all these different things that they lacked earlier in life that a lot of other people did have to be able to have a brighter future, right? But the more we put the money into our communities, the more we're able to develop ourselves. Everything is backed by resources, dollars. And if we don't have enough of them circulating, then we're going to be without. And we know what being without looks like: poverty, crime.
So Cassiopeia, how are those dollars measured? For example, when you talk about money being in the community and money leaving the community, how do we know how many times that particular dollar turns over in a Black community before it leaves, or how long it stays before it leaves?
There's different universities that do these tracking systems. Of course, we know that Nielsen or institutions, Nielsen is one of those tracking systems that have given us our numbers. But that's a really good question because when we're looking outside of ourselves to give us numbers about ourselves, there's going to be some inconsistencies. There's going to be some information or data that hasn't been tracked or completely tracked. So actually, one of my greatest partners or organizations that we build with is called the Bridge Embassy for Black America. And this Sister Tequila Shabazz, she actually tracks that data. She started a system working with our people, turning in receipts. not only receipts from consumers to businesses, but receipts from business to business. So it's really important also for our Black-owned businesses to also buy Black. So that restaurateur is buying from Black farmers. They're getting their paper goods from a Black-owned manufacturer. They are getting as much as they possibly can, even from other Black-owned businesses, as well as hiring Black people as well. So the more we get our businesses to start turning in those that documentation, that data to us, and we harbor it, then we'll be able to get more in. So I think last year she was able to track $1 million spent from Black people to Black businesses amongst only an average of 200 people reporting consistently. So just imagine if all 800,000 Black people in the city of Chicago actually reported their dollars. We'd have a truer number of how much that recycles. And of course, the more we see numbers, we're able to really get vision, get pride, get motivated to keep doing more. You get excited when you see really good numbers happening. So the more people are actually tracking this inside of the Be Black Academy, which is a Facebook group she has on there, the more people are like, I want to do more.
Right.
And then she also has this little competition system in there where she gives out points for people who turn in more receipts, who also give Black. And that's our volunteering our time, our service to others. Those things help us to track. And then, of course, again, we still have those institutions that track some of the data for us as well to let us know. So Nielsen has reported, I believe, $1.3 trillion that Black people spend, period.
1.3 trillion.
Right, with a T, not even a B.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money. And of that 1.3 trillion, I think less than 1% from their tracking goes back into Black-owned businesses. So we can see now really why our communities look the way that they do. You know, if you're not infusing resources back into it, then it's going to look desolate. It's going to look like vacant lots and empty businesses. It's going to look bad because we're injecting and infusing all of our power and our resources into everybody else, and they're looking awesome. Into the Asian and the Indian, and of course, you know, white America is filled with businesses all around. So, but people are starting to make that switch. That's something that we're pushing with the Black Mom, making the switch. You know, do some inventory.
Now, one of the biggest issues, and I would be remiss if I didn't mention, and it is the whole mindset, because most people say, well, you know, it really doesn't matter. I should be able to spend my dollars with whom I want to spend them with, number one. And then number two, well, let's deal with that first.
Okay.
Spending dollars with who I want to spend my money with, it really doesn't make a difference.
Yeah, but those are usually the same people that complain about the crime in the communities which they've come from and probably still live in. So the thing is, how can we say it doesn't matter when it really, really does? Because at the same time, you're just like, well, why they out there doing that? How come them brothers are shooting up this place right here? How come they out there smoking crack and doing all of these other things? Because look around you. How many grocery stores do you have in a concentrated Black community, as opposed to inside of a white community or an Asian community? They're filled with them. We are not controlling what's happening in our own neighborhoods. So they are creating what they want it to look like. So sure, you can do whatever you want to with your money. But if you actually want to see change, no one's going to do it for you other than yourself. We can't keep saying, when are they going to make that change? When are you going to make it? When are you going to actually care enough to just not complain about it and actually contribute to the success of it? Asians spend their dollar 27 times within their communities before it goes back out. And guess what? Do Asians ever worry about how many Asian politicians are there? Can't think of one. You know why?
Yes, you're right.
It doesn't matter to them because they financially control their neighborhoods. So politicians have to abide by their rules and what they want. They don't need anybody going to speak to the House for anything because they're recycling their dollar inside. They control where their money goes and how it's going to be spent. They also make sure that they're sending money back to their own country, their mother country. They make sure that they're constantly feeding that. And we know what that looks like. China is constantly growing. They're getting more and more manufacturing companies. They're getting more and more employment to their people. More of them are coming over here, getting businesses like that, getting loans like that. So that's how they do it. It's completely it stays within for the majority of their money. I think Jewish neighborhoods, it's 17 times. I think regular white neighborhoods, I think it's about 7 to 10 times. When it gets down to the Latino and the Black, I think Latinos is maybe about 3 times. For us, what has been reported, now we're changing that, but what the number that's on the books right now is 6 hours. Not even a day. Not even a day. You can't, that's this is how I try to get people to think about it.
Okay.
It's like this. If your mother was sick, right? And you had the medicine to heal her. Mm-hmm. Your neighbor's mother is sick. The same exact disease. Who are you gonna heal first? Your mom. Your mom. You have to take care of home first. She took care of you. It is actually a detriment and destructive for you to go outside of what stabilizes you first. That's insanity, actually.
So very true. Now, number 2, we have a lot of people who may say, well, I would support Black businesses, but I'm not treated the way that I want to be treated.
Right.
Or there's a great deal of lack within the Black businesses. They don't open on time, or the products are not that good, and so that's why I go elsewhere. Right. What do you say to that?
Okay. So to that end, what we talk about is the very first thing you said, the first but was they don't open on time. Yeah. Okay. So we have to deal with the deficit. Mm-hmm. Now, we don't need to perpetuate enslavement as far as these stories go, and it's like almost kind of a sensationalism around the slave story and the slave narrative, but it is a reality, and it needs to be considered as far as where we stand as in growth. If you are on a basketball team, and then there's a white guy on the basketball team, and your basketball constantly does not have enough air in it, and in this white basketball team, their balls are superb all the time, is it going to be harder for you to train?
Oh, most definitely.
Most definitely.
You don't have the adequate tools to work with.
Absolutely. And they've been stolen from us. We were ripped. They were ripped from us, and actually we were used and abused so much that we're left with nothing. I mean, chitlins is a prime example of us having to make something out of nothing, right? So that's kind of the platform that we've been on. Integration is unfortunately one of the catalysts for another wave of the destruction that has where we're at. So let's keep that in mind. Number 2, when our site is based upon showing the best of the best. That's not everybody. Every Black-owned business is not bad. Every Black-owned business does not give poor quality or doesn't have good timing. There's so many of them that are excellent. But if you allow one to be your turnoff for all of them, and in Chicago, whether brick and mortar or service-based, there's about 60,000 of them. But we get turned off and so hard on ourselves. And I always say, also look to yourself. Have you always been a perfect employee? Have you even been a perfect boss? So we're so hard without never reflecting on the fact that it's still human ran. And then I'm sure everybody has gone to Target and had a good experience and a bad experience. I'm sure everybody's even gone to Macy's and had a good experience and a bad experience. And the bad experience was probably because of customer service, simply because of your color, right? Now, you definitely, when we start talking about the Arabs and the Indians and the Asians, come on. When it comes to customer service and quality of product, they are 70% fail, but we go to them every single day with the glass in our face, with cardboard signage up that just look like they wrote something on there real quick to tell you what you can and cannot do within their store. And we take it. But then when we go to our own people, we expect for the Taj Mahal to just come out and people to bow down to us. And that's your blood. That's your color. That's your race. Those are your people. we have to, it's time now. It's for a mental switch has to happen.
So do we need to give ourselves more leeway as it relates to businesses and to customer service and to going to the next level?
I think there just needs to be a consideration, but I definitely don't think that we should lack quality in customer service. What I think does need to happen more so often is people actually saying something to the owner or the manager when they don't have a good experience. What happens for our people, we'll take it from the other locations, right, and not say anything. But as soon as we get a bad experience at a Black-owned business, what do? Go home. You tell your spouse, you tell your parent, you tell your friend. But can they change anything that happened wrong at that business?
Tell the person who can make a difference.
Who could tell the person to make a difference? A lot of times, the owner doesn't even know that there's an issue with the cashier that they have at the front line. Right? So those are the things that we need to get in contact with. When white people have an issue, the reason why customer service and human resources exist in white companies is because there is bad business. They spend lots of money on a whole human resource department because they know that humans are gonna guarantee to mess up here and there. So the thing is, we have to be able to start infusing them with good feedback so that they can have the opportunity to make the adjustment the same way these big corporations do.
Now, Cassiopeia, let's say that there's an individual who has a product that's Black-owned, that's Black-created. Can that product be on display at the Black Mall?
Absolutely.
Okay.
If it's a great product, let's get it. We want it. We want the people to know. It's all about awareness for us.
How can we get more information?
Go to theblackmall.com.
Okay. You have to add the.
You have to add the. TheBlackMall.com.
Okay.
Yes. We have a phone number as well, 773-357-6154. And we're on all social, we're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter under The Black Mall.
Okay.
And
now, Cassiopeia, we have about a minute left. Give me some quick information about Soul Designs. Is that
yes. So Soul Designs is works inside of The Black Mall. We're a branding company. So your business cards, your flyers, your banners, your t-shirts, your hats, booklets, guides, anything that can be designed for any type of printing or electronic use, we can do it.
Okay. All right. Give me some closing words.
Love yourself.
Love yourself. Okay.
Love your people. Everything else will fall back into order after that.
All right. Words spoken by a queen.
Thank you so much.
Cassiopeia Uhuru, right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you so very much for being here and sharing your incredible message. Now, you have to promise me that you're going to come back and let me know what's going on with you from time to time.
Oh my God, I would love to, please.
Okay. All right. And then we can even get more information about who you are and what you do, and then your incredible message.
Yes.
All right?
Thank you.
Thank you so very much. Please know that the door here at Focus Talk is always open.
Absolutely.
You don't have to knock. Just come on through.
Oh, I love it. Thank you.
You're tuned to Chicago's most popular college music radio station. 89.3 is WKKC.
You're watching Focus Talk TV
with your host, Dennis Snipe.